I wonder what's the over-under for next year before we abandon the Big Ten and switch over to the top 10.
Actually, with the new Big Ten, it'll be a lot more fun.
I know.
It'll be okay.
So. Right, because I can leave teams out and I don't have to worry about it.
All right, let me hear this because I want to see how badly you underrate Oregon. This will be exciting.
All right, well, we're going to start at number 10.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
Michael, number 10, I'm going to go with the team that they have a chance to possibly really do nothing, but
I'm putting down my coffee for this lead up.
No, they embarrassed
do nothing.
They embarrassed themselves earlier in the year, but then they came to Ford Field and embarrassed the Spartans. I'll give you the Penn State Nittany Lions at 10.
I will tell you this. I don't know what joy you get as a Penn State fan. You'll win 9 or 10 games every year, but you never beat Michigan. You never beat OSU. You never win the Big Ten. You never go to the playoff. What's the point? Oh, but our stadium's big. No one cares.
But our helmets have wings.
Yeah, great. They're 10th. You know what they would do if they got into the 12-team playoff? Get their doors blown off because James Franklin is dumb as a brick.
Yeah.
Go ahead. 9.
At 9, fresh off of their victory against Arkansas, University of Missouri. Missouri sitting there at 9. Really good SEC team, except for the only problem is you play in the same conference as Georgia and Alabama and LSU. But if Missouri was in the Big Ten, they would be playing Michigan in the championship game.
You know what's cool about Missouri? And I mean, again, I'm not sitting here telling you they're playoff good. Leading rusher in the SEC, 3 legitimate NFL receivers, and they win the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. They got a linebacker who reminds me a lot of your guy, Nick Bolton. Hopper or Hooper, number 8 on their defense. I mean, just sideline to sideline and Rico scouting report, quote, this dude just kills people, close quote.
And he still does.
Missouri's just really good. And you wish there was a 12-team playoff because I don't think anybody would want to run into them and Schrader. Super physical. Drinkwitz did a really nice job this year.
No, they are. And this next team, Mike, they needed a 4th and 37 to win the game over their rivals, but I'm going to give you the University of Alabama at 8.
Wow, that's a horrible take. Do you want to reconsider that?
No.
8. David?
I wouldn't have them at 8. I would have them more probably 6. But let me see what you have in
8?
front of them. Yeah, 8 is a lot.
Well, there are other teams ahead of them.
Okay,
and you know what? Let's be honest. You struggled the entire game. You probably should have lost.
It's the Iron Bowl. Throw the records out.
Okay.
I've seen worse Auburn teams beat better Bama teams. That rivalry just hits different.
All right. Well, then you know what? I'm going to let you two argue because at number 7, it doesn't just mean more because they're not in the SEC, but it was a rivalry game. The Ohio State University.
I'm not
over Bama though.
Yeah, I disagree because Ryan Day is a coward, and I don't think he should be ranked in the top 10 anymore.
But you've always said you can't just punish a team because they lose a game. And
I can
out.
when you settle for a 53-yard field goal and you allow Kyle McCord to be your quarterback.
Mistakes were made.
I'm fine with this because in the end, neither of them. Look, Bama, if they beat Georgia, Bama's in.
Correct.
So that's my one issue with you putting them at 8. Now, if you're telling me on a neutral field you would take Ohio State to beat Bama, I'm not going to make fun of that take because Ohio State against anyone not Michigan, they're a different team.
Right.
So I'm not mad.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Alabama can jump. As you know, in this poll, you can jump higher or lower in 1 week.
Well, there's only one way you're going to make me mad. So we'll see if you decide to go that route.
Well, then I'll give you at number 6. At number 6, they will be playing in their conference championship game this weekend, University of Texas.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that. No, not mad at that at all. Listen, I don't. Is there a chance Texas gets in? Yes. I think that this is the interesting part. Do we in this room believe there will at least be a conversation about 12-1 Texas and a potential 13-0 Florida State without Jordan Travis? I think it's going to be interesting to see, does Texas look to put up style points against Oklahoma State?
I think they will. They have to.
And they did last week. That's what was interesting. 57-7 over Tech.
But is style points mean anything? It's like Michigan putting up style points over Iowa. They're ranked.
Costa hates that I feel this way. I would not put Florida State in, no matter the result. you don't have Jordan Travis and Bobby Studenbaker or Rodenbacher or whatever his name is, you're not a playoff team. I talked to a couple of people who do power rankings. Do you know what the spread would be if Florida State gets in? They would be minimum 16-point underdogs against anyone else in the top 5 if they show up with Bobby Studenbaker at QB.
So they are TCU of last year?
Worse. TCU was only a 7-point dog to Michigan. 16.
Yeah.
You cannot put them in.
Okay.
See, and I have no problem with that. Back in the day, I thought that's how it would be with bowl selections. Oh, they lost their guy. They're not the same. I don't want them here.
Hey, if the committee in college basketball could do it to Cincinnati when Kenyon Martin broke his leg, I'm sorry, Florida State. You won the worst Power 5 conference, and you lost your All-American quarterback.
Since we're talking Florida State, that's who comes in at number 5. Florida State, yeah, they're undefeated.
Would they be favored over Ohio State?
Would they be favored? No.
Would they be favored over Bama?
No.
Would they be favored over Texas?
No.
Then you shouldn't have them ahead of them. This is a power rank, Rico.
And it's my power rank, and they are ahead of them. They have not lost, so I cannot punish them for right now. They're doing what they're doing. They're winning the teams that they're supposed to. It'll all end, I think, against Louisville. Yeah. At number 4,
don't do it.
Let's head out to the Pac-12.
It better be that team with a stupid
Let's
dog.
head out to the Pac-12. They will be playing in the Pac-12 championship game in a rematch against the University of Oregon. I got Washington.
Thank God.
At 4.
You're the most beautiful man on earth. I want to let you know that. You've just become sexier by the syllable. Thank you for casting aside your bias. Washington is a rightful 9.5-point dog because they're garbage. And they've been getting lucky for a month.
No. You don't get lucky for a month.
Yes, you do.
That's just called being good.
Whatever.
Okay? But Washington, they're winning games, but they're not pretty.
Hey, you think Panics will be able to watch the game this week, or will he be too emotionally moved?
Can you cut his mic off, please? Thank you. You know what? I changed that. Oregon comes in at 10.
You can't.
Oregon's at 10.
Stop.
Okay? You've upset me. I'd rather see Louisville. Oregon's coming in at 10. No. I got Oregon at 3 because Oregon's playing just lights out football. They did lose to Washington. And I thought about flipping them because that game should mean something. But my goodness, Oregon's on fire right now. So I'm putting Oregon at 3.
It's because you're a real man.
At 2, David, you're counting. What are you counting?
Who's 4?
Washington.
Okay, all right.
Is that Kaz Tech education coming through again?
No, he was like, where'd you put Michigan at? Michigan's at 2.
I'm waiting.
David, can you count to 10?
I'm waiting.
My God.
I'm waiting.
Michigan is at 2. They're at 2. They went out there. They handled their business. They took the Big Ten over Ohio State. They crushed Ryan Day's and the Buckeyes' hopes and dreams. They left poor little Maserati turned into a Hyundai. And he was just a very sad person at the end of the game. The University of Michigan at 2. And at 1, it's Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is getting hot at the right time. Kenny, I know you're feeling confident. You hated me all throughout this top 10 thing because I didn't have them there, but they weren't playing this style of football the way that they are playing right now.
Well, you finally eventually reasoned up a little bit and put us where we belong,
Well,
and I appreciate that,
They
Rico.
started playing football, and they woke up. They were sleepwalking.
They were there all along. Thank you.
No, they were sleepwalking, but now they're there. So
we beat the number 2 team in the country, and we're not number 1 on your board?
no.
Okay.
I think it's body of work. I think it's Georgia in the SEC. I mean, they are a week removed from depancing Tennessee in Knoxville.
Well, David, here's what I'll say. If Bama takes care of Georgia and you handle your business, maybe you're sitting at 1 next
David,
week.
what's the problem?
I'm asking the question.
Anyone,
that Michigan fans
anytime,
want.
anywhere. It's Michigan versus everybody.
But
right
right now, my playoffs would be Georgia versus UW and Oregon versus Michigan.
Let's roll.
So that's your
Excellent.
That's your top 10. You're listening to the Valenti Show with Rico, 97.1.